Hi guys, welcome to Whatcha Paint Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, May 18th, and this is not the normal time that I go live for Whatcha Paint Wednesday, but it's been a crazy couple days since getting back from the retreat. Monday we had company. My friend was out of town. My friend was out of town. My friend was in town from out of town, and so we got together Monday, and then yesterday, oh yeah, last night I went live in Patreon, and then today I had a 1:30 hair appointment, and now normally I go live at 1 o'clock, and I knew I wouldn't be able to make my 1:30 hair appointment, so I went and got my hair done. I got back, I was going to go live right afterwards, but then we were expecting our patio furniture to be delivered from 9 to 1, and it was 2:30 by this time, and no word from them, so we called them, and they're like, oh, we're putting on the truck right now, we'll be right there. So anyway, I had to wait for that to be done. So it's an odd time of the day. So I didn't tell anybody I was going to go on late. So I don't know if I'll get any takers. I may be sitting here painting by myself, but that's absolutely fine. I can just paint and you can watch the replay. So I'm working on this painting here. And I charted this for cross stitch. So it is currently the May Patreon chart for, I believe, tier 3 and tier 4. Wait. Yeah, tier 3 and 4. Obviously, I didn't chart it this big. And what I'm doing, I started it not last week. I was out of town last week. But I started it the week before. So a couple weeks ago I started. And I'm just putting a red background on. Just getting the first layers down, basically. It's very quiet and peaceful here today. It's rainy and cold. Like I had on capri pants and flippity flops, and I come home and I had to change because I'm like, it is chilly. It's too doggone chilly. So I don't see any comments, so I'm just gonna go for it and just start painting. Can you guys hear the birds chirping, and can you hear the rain hitting the pond outside? It makes me want to take a nap. Hi, Christy. I'm trying to move in closer so I can see. Hold on, let me just. I guess I could get my laptop out. I was trying to get close enough to my phone where I could just read the comments on my phone, but I kind of think it's too far away. Yes, I can hear the birds and the rain. Oh, cool. I love that sound. Dishes and stitches. I can hear the birds. I love spring. Wow. I might as well get my laptop out so I can see the comments better. I'm live on YouTube, but only on YouTube. I tried to do Facebook, but they wanted, every so often, I have to re-enter my password and everything to go live through StreamYard on Facebook, and I don't know it by heart. I thought I did, but it didn't work, and I put it in twice, and it didn't work, so I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going live in Facebook then. All right. Let's get you pulled up here. So Kevin purchased some new Wi-Fi boosters. There's 2 at the house and 1 down here, and it really seems to be doing better. I mean, I still do my live videos down here not using Wi-Fi. I use my cell phone because I have a cell phone booster down here too. But as far as maybe me watching it on my laptop, hopefully it will look better. All right, here we go. Volume off. All right. Oh, that's much better. What's everybody up to today? What is your weather like? I always like to know what other people's weather is like. So just a little refresher. I'm using Arteza acrylic paints, and so far so good. I really like them. They do dry with kind of a plasticky look, but that doesn't concern me because of the way I do my finishing on my paintings. I will be sanding and staining and all of that over top anyways, which will dull down any of that shine and plasticky look. Shy. So that doesn't bother me. I subscribed to your Patreon last night and got the Halloween sampler. Yay! I can't wait to use the patterns to make small pillows. Thanks for suggesting that. That's awesome, Christy. When I was at the retreat over the weekend for the Smalls Exchange, somebody had used, so last August, the Halloween sampler was one of the Patreon releases. Okay, so the other two, one was called Prim Witch and one was called The Good Witch. Somebody had stitched Prim Witch and made it into a pillow, and then the little kitty that's in that same pattern, they stitched separately and made it into a little pillow. And anyways, I think the other pillow said October 31st. And then they had the 3 little pillows in that little holder. And I'm hoping to get that picture so I can share it because it was really, really cute. Well, thanks for joining Patreon. It's such a fun place to be, and I'm always looking to improve it and to make the experience, better. So there's always changes and improvements going on. I need a bigger brush. It's taking too long. Got my hair trimmed. It feels so good. All of my undergrowth, my new growth, is finally getting like shoulder length now, but it's coming in so curly. In case you are wondering what the heck I'm talking about, I know I've shared this several times, but I'm not sure. I never know where I say stuff at. Was it in Patreon? Was it during a Whatcha Paintin Wednesday? I can't remember. Was it in a false tube? Anyway, a couple years, I'd say probably 3 years ago, I did keto. In about 6 weeks later, I had lost 18 pounds in 6 weeks. Well, evidently it was just a shock to my system to do that because like another 6 weeks later, I started losing hair like by the gobfuls, like gobs and gobs of hair would come out. And then like all day long, hair would just be, drove me crazy. And then last year in August, I got COVID, and 6 weeks after that, my hair was starting to fall out rapidly again. Well, The hair from a couple years ago is filling in and growing in. So I've got like 3 layers of hair. I've got my regular hair, then I've got all this undergrowth that's super curly that is about that length right there. It's about that length. And that's from a couple years ago when I did keto. And then I've got like hair about an inch long that's growing back from last year. So it's crazy. And I'll be glad when my hair's all one length again. Hey, Teresa. Yes, I hope everyone's doing well too. Also, I love hearing the birds singing outside. I just love it. You know, I think as summer goes on, you kind of take it for granted. You just get used to it. But after a long winter, boy, in the spring, it really, you really notice it and appreciate it more. Feels good to get the paints back out. My glasses slide down my nose so much now. I think they're stretched out or like something has changed on them because they slide down way more than they used to. And I keep saying I'm going to go to the eye doctor. I want to look into contacts again. And I want to get new glasses. These glasses are progressive and transitional lenses. Progressive, I'm down with that. I love that. But the transitional lenses, I don't want that anymore because they tend to go dark fairly quick when you're out in the sun. But when you go back inside, it takes forever for them to readjust. And like if you go into a store or something like that, sometimes I have to take my glasses off because I can't, it's too dark. So what I've been doing, and I try to remember to do this, I try to remember when I'm walking from my car into a store just to take my glasses off and put them inside my coat pocket or under my shirt or something to hide them from the light. Or if I'm walking down here to the studio, I do the same thing. I don't always remember to do it though. So kind of defeats the whole purpose of having those lenses, doesn't it? So I want new glasses and I want to try some more contacts. I just got a little bit more to do on that part and then I'm going to start putting more color in. So Kristen and I, we promise we will be doing Witch Paint Wednesday again together someday. She has her grandsons today. And actually, right now, she's probably on her way to pick up. Well, she picks up her one grandson at 3:05. He gets off the bus at 3:05, and then she has to wait until 4 o'clock for the other grandson to get dropped off at the bus stop. So, and she's an hour behind, so it is 2:40 there. Yeah, she's probably on her way to get the boys. more red paint. So these are the paints I'm using. Arteza. Or maybe it's Arteza. I don't know how they say it. But I'm painting all of this painting using their paints because I'm doing a review of their paints. This review is way overdue, and they've been more than patient with me. What the bananas? Do I not have it in here? Did they not all fit back in there? Oh, come on. I didn't think that was the right red. Maybe it is. Oh, it is. The last one that I look at, of course. Or maybe I looked at it and I thought it was something different. The paints are nice and thick. They're very creamy. They go on very nicely. If you don't like the paint that thick, they have mediums. There's acrylic mediums you can always use to thin down the paint or to make it so it doesn't dry so fast. So you can make them act a little bit more like oil paints. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it being too thick because you can always adjust that. I like my paints a little bit thick. I don't like fluid acrylics because I like to have thick and thin areas of paint so that when I do the sanding process, it makes it more interesting. Y'all are quiet today. Why are you so quiet? Are you doing something while you have this on? Do you have any questions for me? Do you have any jokes to tell? Maybe I should leave it this way. You guys can see it better. All right, let's work on our eagle. I keep having these little hairs on my face. They tickle my nose. So after I get this painting done, which will probably be the next, I won't be here next Wednesday. That's really another reason I wanted to go live today, because I won't be going live next week. But the following week, I should be able to work on it. I don't know. I need to get it done. like quickly, sooner rather than later. So I'm using burnt sienna just to put a nice layer on the wings of our bird. When the background dries, I will be going over that with like maybe a gray color. Gray would be nice. Teresa is stitching on a stamped cross stitch for my daughter. It's called America United We Stand. Cool. I'm trying to get the grease off my glasses so they don't slide down as much. Yeah, I went to do some cross stitch this morning and I realized I had left the piece I'm working on. I left it down here when I was doing floss tube. I showed it on my floss tube as my whip, and then I left it down here. I was bummed. I'm not very talkative today either. I'm very relaxed though, I can tell you that. It just feels good sitting here painting. I'm curious what the temperature is here. It is pretty darn chilly. Kevin had the furnace on down here at the studio. And he's not down here right now. He went to run some errands, and I'm like, I come down here, I'm like, heck to the no, I'm turning that off. That's the side I didn't paint. Okay. I don't use that one. It's a 4. Oh, this is a 2. I think the 2 would work better, actually. So the Stay Wet palette is really keeping these paints nice and moist. So I love this palette. It's amazing the way it keeps your paints nice and fresh. Because it's been 2 weeks. I didn't paint on this last week. So, I mean, that's pretty darn good. They're just as fresh as they can be. I gotta turn that the other way now to work on his eye. Hold on, I'll turn it back around in a second. I gotta fix it. It's trying to look like an eagle. Are you a self-taught artist or were you formally trained? I love your folk art style. Good question, Christy. I have a 2-year degree in fine art where I learned more about like shape, composition, that kind of thing. I didn't like learn how to paint in oils or anything like that. That actually came after college. I took some classes at the local art institute, and that's where I learned how to paint in oil, watercolor. I didn't start painting in acrylic until way, way later. Way, way later. And then, you know, at that time I was painting. I have a fascination with painting the likeness of somebody because that is like the hardest thing to do. That's the hardest thing to paint, to capture their personality. And I found that challenge interesting and I liked doing that. And I did that in some watercolor as well. But then I discovered folk art or the country look or whatever you want to call it from my friend Jan. I loved her style of decorating her house. Uh, she's she's not that much older than me, but she's older than me as far as like having kids type of thing. So she was already, married and had 3 kids and all of that when I met her. And so she had a home and she had a special, like a certain style about her decorating. And I didn't at that time. Um, I was probably 22, 23 when I met her. And when I saw her house and how it was very primitive country folk art looking, and when I saw her house, I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this. And I've always loved folk art ever since then. And so, yeah, thank you very much, Christy. I had several sizes of palettes in the 80s and 90s. I have the same eagle on my project that I'm working on, LOL. Oh, that's funny. I love it. So, like my angels that I paint, those faces aren't meant to be, realistic. They're more stylized. The eagle is a mighty bird, isn't it? I just love seeing videos of them flying over the water and catching fish. It's just quite impressive. Who has fun summer plans lined up? Anybody? Do anything fun? Doing any traveling? Did I just get green on there? Still afraid to do the airport thing. Yeah, I haven't been on a plane. I really don't know how long it's been. Going on one tomorrow. Everyone that I have talked to or watched, on FlossTube that has traveled, they say that it's all good. What did I do there? Okay. That is supposed to be the background. There we go. No plans. That is my plan in 2024. I know that's kind of a long ways away. Well, last year, 2021 was my first year of doing retreats, like being the guest designer at one. So I had my first retreat in July at the Silver Needle. I loved it. It was a total blast. It was just such a good experience. It's so great to, meet people. And I just really enjoyed it. It was a really good time. And then I did the Garden of Quilts that September. So I had those two things going on. And when we went to the Garden of Quilts, we stayed an extra week and went to Yellowstone and did some sightseeing and stuff like that. And that was like our anniversary trip. And it was a total blast. And then this year, I just got back from Iowa from the Farm Girl Gatherings retreat. And then I'm going to Missouri in September. And then I'm going out west again for Stitch West. And then we're going to Florida with some friends for a week this coming week. And then I'm home for like a week, and then I go to Tennessee. A couple of my friends, were going down to the CMA Fest at Kristen's down in Tennessee. So this year is a little bit ridiculous. Like I'm gone a lot. I'm here all of July and pretty much all of August. We have like a weekend trip in August. But all the other months, ooh, it's busy. And then in 2023, I've got stuff lined up. I've got at least right now 2 retreats lined up. Um, so it's like I'm thinking 2024 might be the year that I don't do any retreats. I, I went from being like this major homebody because I am a homebody. I'm an introvert. I like to be home. When I'm in around a lot of people, listen, I love people and I love visiting with people. I love getting to know, new people, meeting new people. I love all that. So these retreats are amazing. It's so fun. But like when I get back to my room, I like I'm so like wound up. I don't know, I can't explain it. Like I'm super tired from all the activity, but yet my mind is just racing and I can't fall asleep. Like my mind's racing of replaying the events of the day and just my body's exhausted, but my mind is going. Anyway, um, and when Kevin works here now too, but before he did, there was days upon days, I'm just in the studio by myself. I mean, a week would go by and the only time I would leave the house was to go to church. And then during COVID, we couldn't even go to church. So I didn't go anywhere for a good year. I shouldn't say didn't go anywhere. I didn't travel for a good year. And then all I did was, like go to church or something like that. Anyways, I went from not going anywhere to like going everywhere. And I love it, but it is exhausting, I have to say. And this might sound stupid, but I don't like leaving my dog. I know, isn't that just because she is so weird when I'm gone. Like she doesn't want to play. She eats at least. Somebody I was talking to at the retreat said their dog won't even eat while they're gone, like for a few days. And I'm like, oh, that'd be really hard. But she's got like some issues, and I just feel so bad leaving her. What was I? Okay, I knew I was going to do something. I think about like musicians and bands, how they tour and they'll be gone, you know, like they'll tour for a whole year, be in a different city every weekend or every other weekend. And I'm like, whoo, I couldn't do that. I am way too much of a homebody for that. Isn't this starting to finally look better? It's good to get out, but it's always good to be back home. Amen. Amen. It's exactly how I feel. Yep. Especially in your own bed. That's huge. Although the bed and breakfast I stayed at last weekend, I was recording like a video for my husband to show him the bedroom. And I'm like, look, honey, there's 6 pillows, 6 big, fluffy pillows. You don't get that at hotels. We get chiclets. That's what Kevin calls them, chiclet pillows at the hotel anymore. Not all hotels, but when we were on our trip out west last fall, we were blown away by how crappy some of the pillows were in the hotels. Like, what? We're paying what a night for chiclet pillows? It's kind of funny. Oopsie. I should be using my palette knife instead of my brushes to mix my paint. Right? You don't even get your room cleaned every day anymore in hotels. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. COVID screwed a lot of things up. Like, they're not going back to the ways that things were before COVID. A lot of places aren't. It's getting dark out. Wonder if it's getting ready to rain. You know what, you guys? I miss the grandkids. We didn't have them last week because I was gone, and we're not having them tomorrow because we're leaving, and then we get home on Thursday as well. Ryan will be here holding down the fort, so that's good. Um, so we have a house setter, and I'm not worried about any of that. Uh, I miss my grandkids. I thought about, it just depends what all I got to get done the rest of today, but I thought about popping over there tonight for a quick visit. FaceTime them at least. I have so many things to paint. After I get this done, then I'm going to paint. I need to paint my logo. So I designed my new logo. Have you guys seen my new logo? I think I showed it on Instagram. And I think I showed it on my last floss tube. Anyway, I'd redesigned my logo and I want to paint it so that I can scan it and that will be what I use for my color logo, like for my patterns and stuff. So that's next. And then I need to keep working on the St. Michael boxes. And every year I paint that chair for the charity auction. Well, they asked me to do that again. And that's due, I think, September 1st. So yeah, I got a lot of things to paint. I got to find or make more time to paint. That is a must. And this painting I have to do because this is what I'm doing to review these paints. Something's missing. Yeah, that little whoop-de-doo. There should be a little whoop-de-doo right there. I painted over it. Oops. I painted over the whoop-de-doo, guys. Get on your man. I don't know why that's all of a sudden popped in my head. what happened? I just happened to look up and see that my phone was black. And then then it was black on my computer screen, and I'm like, oh no, I thought maybe my phone died. That's the only thing that I could think of. Anyways, I took my phone off the thing and it said that we lost connection. So anyways, I was just finishing up this part anyways. So I'm just going to finish painting that little background there, and I was going to go. So I'm just going to say goodbye now. I'm looking at the wrong spot. Okay, I was looking over here. I never know where to look. So you guys, thank you for joining me today. And I will be back in 2 weeks with Whatcha Paint Wednesday. So thank you. Thank you, Teresa. I plan to have safe travels. I plan to have lots of fun and relaxing. Oh, I can't wait to just lay on the beach and relax and have some cocktails and not have any responsibilities for a whole week. It's going to be great. So anyways, see you guys in a couple weeks.